Another perfectly dull Saturday in northern Germany, and you know what, it's getting to the point now that I have to wear this thing because otherwise I could cut glass with my nipples. Today the idea is that we're going to be cutting that hedge. Yeah, it looks like shit because there's for some reason some of the trees are dying, some of the trees are doing good. You just never know exactly what's going to happen. So I think that one is dying and there is a big ass hole, but you know what, let's try to make it good anyway. So again, as it always is with a hedge, you know, don't cut into the old wood, because once you cut into that, it's not going to recuperate. You're going to have brown holes all over the place. So into the shed I go and looking for my hedge trimmer. I know Jane cleared up the shed the other day, and you know what, her idea of, oh, this makes complete and utter sense where to put it, is different than mine. So I love the idea when she cleans up, because as I said before, I'm a messy ass when it comes to this, but I just can't find anything. So it should be, it was there. Oh, there it is. Oh. Okay. Done. Found it. And broke nothing. So it's starting to drizzle a little, but you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to start anyway because, you know, let's face it, the weather ain't going to be getting any better. Well, not today. And then tomorrow is Sunday, and tomorrow you're not allowed to make any noise. So, you know, I can't use the hedge clippers tomorrow. So I would have to do it by hand, and that's just not going to happen. The only thing is missing now is beer and power tools. It's like a wet dream for some. Me. I mean, when you have situations like this, you know, I can understand when people go, you know what, gardening is just really, really dull and boring. But at the end of the day, what's nice about it, you see a great, well, it will look like a good result, because I mean obviously once it starts growing a little bit tighter, and then, you know, I'm not capping it yet because I want them to grow a little bit taller, and I'm not going to be doing any kind of like sort of, you know, weird phallic shapes or like square boxy thing. I've got that over there and I'm not quite sure. It kind of like looks like, I don't know, like a green Berlin Wall. Or maybe that's the kind of thing that President Trump should think about, you know, rather than a wall, a big hedge in between Mexico and America. Depends what you planted with, let's say that people wouldn't get through it either. But it looked pretty. I don't know whether you've seen it, but how sexy is that? Crocs worth socks. Crocs worth socks. You know, again, this is another thing, you know, fashion icon I am not. Now it's raining, great. While I like living here, the weather can really piss me off sometimes. You know, you've got one thing planned, that was thinking, oh, it's not raining now, fucking hell. And apparently, water and electricity doesn't really match. Water and electricity doesn't really mix well. Well, it depends what you want to do. If you know, have enough of your loved one and you throw the hairdryer into the bathtub by accident, you know, it has a result. Yes. My wife doesn't have a bath, she just showers, so... And I think throwing a hairdryer into a shower wouldn't have the same result. Or would it? So coming in from the outside, because you know what, the weather was really... It just got worse and worse and worse. It was kind of rain on a biblical proportion. Well, actually, it wasn't that bad, but you know what, it just got too bloody wet and I just couldn't be arsed anymore. Anyway, so I came down into my basement. The reason why I'm in the basement right now is because we have visitors upstairs. Jane's parents are here. The Royals, I call them. And so, you know, rather than me next to sitting around in the kitchen going blah, 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 about seeds and, you know, annoy everybody, and they would be talking in the back and then you would hear the noise and you're thinking, you know what, let's just focus on me. Yeah, as I said, well, as you saw earlier on, I started with cutting the hedge, and then I thought, nah, it got too rain, too wet, and then the whole thing, well, there's no water, electricity, blah, it's not a good thing. And yeah, so now I decided to continue with seeds. Life of a gardener, or someone who thinks is a gardener, it's kind of like a high-speed car chase. You never know what's going to come. It's so... yeah, let's show you what I do with the seeds. Yay! So you collect the seeds and all that sort of stuff, and then you dry them. But I'm going to get into that because I've got something sitting there. Obviously, I got out of the garden earlier on. This is where I keep my seeds, amongst the odd bear. Hey. So it's, quite simplistic. Pick them, and then I put them into these glass jars, and I added some rice. Just in case if there is any moisture left, so the rice will absorb that moisture. And I keep them in the fridge. So this is foxglove, this is some dill. Then we have... I told you this is getting so exciting about seeds. Then we have here poppy, to make heroin. And then I have something here which... yeah, this is the mixed stuff. So I thought at one point, let's just be, really experimental and mix them all. Yeah, well, the idea was there, but as far as I'm concerned, it's easier if I mix them as I plant them, or as I put them on the ground. So, what else do I have? Oh, alliums. Yeah, I could just buy the damn things, but you know what? I'll give it a shot. It's one of these things, when you do, when you try things in the garden, it's great. Well, it's not great, but I sort of, when you fail, then fine. You know what? Take that off the list and just do it different the next time. But you have to have fun. You have to give it a shot. And what do I hear say? If I must. Let's. Now I'm sitting down like an old fart. There is not any science to this whole thing. You know what? You get yourself a seed head. And then you take out the seeds. It's free stuff. So you just, get the seeds out. And... let them dry, put them in a jar, and I've got, like I said, I've got plenty of these. These things are the jars that come with, when you buy pizza dough and stuff like that. They come with these little jars with tomato sauces in. And they're brilliant. And I have about, I don't know, it feels like I've got about 5,000 of these things, because we have this rule in this house. Well, the kids have this rule, which they kind of made up themselves, and I get it, because I make up my own rules all the time as well. Whether they are socially accepted or not, that's beside the point. My house, my rules. So they made up this rule saying that every single Friday is Pizza Friday. So every single Friday they want pizza. It's kind of like some people have this sort of thing, every single Tuesday we have intercourse. Moving from intercourse back to pizza, and which in itself one could lead to the other. Yeah, so I keep collecting these sort of jars, and they're also great for making jelly. I'll make grape jelly, and eventually I'm gonna grow a real pair of breasts, I think. So now you spend hours and hours peeling these things out, letting them dry, and then, as I said, put them into one of those, pizza sexy jars. I'll put them in the fridge, because you know what, if I would leave them anywhere else, I'd probably forget about them. And then, springtime, you plant them.